Cool. We're all set. Happy New Year, everybody. This is our first mastermind of 2026. And today we kind of want to talk about that and kicking butt in the new year and starting strong. Uncle Tim, you want to give us some of your thoughts here and get into, I think we're going to do some wins and that sort of thing.
Well, obviously, it's a new year. 2025, we've said goodbye to it, and 2026 has arrived. Yesterday was our first day, full day, really, back at work.
I'm
Some
here.
some of us worked on Fridays, some of us did not, and but hopefully, everybody got back into the swing of things yesterday. It's gonna take some changes. The market's a little different. The market's softening a little bit. There are still certain pockets of the market where we're still seeing multiple offers on certain things, but not as much as it was before. I think the days on the market, Brooks, has increased a little bit
Yeah, I would
across,
say
across the board.
across the board in different counties and townships, it's in between 20 and 30, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, so we're going to have to sharpen our pencil a little bit more when we're doing our CMAs and be a little bit more careful when we're doing that. If you have any questions on your CMAs or you want to sit down and talk about it, feel free to always reach out to Kong or Brooks or myself about pricing a property so that we can make sure that we get it priced to sell and not priced to sit on the market for a long period of time. The changes that we're going to have to make, and I think I might have put this in an email last week, or we do got to get back to basics again. It's a new year. If you're not happy with where you ended up last year, then you need to make a couple little tweaks and adjustments and put a little more effort into this year. Now, start now. Don't start in months from now. Start now. You know, if you were to, and nobody needs to answer this question, but if you were going to rate yourself on how you did yesterday, the first day, how would you rate yourself? Would you pay yourself if you were looking at the job that you did yesterday? We have to make the contacts. We've got to talk to the people. We've got to write the notes. We've got to plan out the events that it's going to take to have a successful 2026. Not only making the contacts, writing the notes, and planning, those planning um, sessions also need to include educational. Are you planning on going to a Brian Buffini event this year? Are you planning on going to a Mike Ferry event this year? Are you planning on going back to the gym and get yourself in a little bit better shape? We're all making tweaks to try to get ourselves better and to do better, to have more energy, to give a better performance when we're in front of a buyer or a seller. If I go around the room in a little bit and just find out, like for instance, Brent, is there anything either personal or business wise that you're happy about for last year, and what's one goal you have for this year?
Okay. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yep.
All right. Sorry, I'm doing two different things. My computer does not have a speaker or anything,
We
so I'm using my phone. But as long as you can hear me, I'm good. So last year, again, the property management company has, you know, because of everybody on this call and the systems that we have in place have continued to grow. And last year, we have done just that. We continue to grow, and we're doing it in such a way that is the way we want to grow and keep strong and keep our services. To be at a level that we are very proud of, that we have achieved. And for 2026, it is absolutely going to be no different, with the exception of probably trying to expand our educational. Last year, we joined a national group for the rental property businesses. So I now know that they have some property management conferences that we would like to attend. So we want to schedule something like that, excuse me, for us to attend and just get more knowledgeable in the industry. So that, along with continuing to grow naturally, is the biggest thing. On a personal level, getting back into the fitness, getting back into the eating healthy, because that helps you mentally prepare for the day and prepare for the week and month and year. So, and now that I have an accountability partner to do it with, it's going to be awful fun and challenging.
Who's your accountability partner?
Hmm. That would be Mr. Tim Costello.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll go next as far as that accountability goes. You know, when my father passed away, I had a goal to try to get in shape. Since he passed away, I'm down 75 pounds. 75 pounds. I'm back to the gym, swimming every day, and I doubled my laps on the third day back in the pool. So I got a goal to lose another 75 pounds by next year. It's going to be a little harder than it was for the first 75, but I've got a system in place. Hopefully, I got an accountability partner with Brent. And I think, and I know it's going to happen because I've got a continuous glucose monitor in my arm. I'm watching what I eat. I'm able to control my sugar. I'm able to get my A1C down. My doctors are thrilled with what's going on. Um, I just found as I cleaned out my closet of the clothes that I haven't been able to wear in a long time, as I've been losing weight, I found 13 different pairs of pants and shorts and sport jackets and stuff that still had the tags on it that I never removed. I took them back to the big and tall shop and I said to the guy, I was honest, I'm like, some of this stuff I bought 2, 3 years ago. They gave me $650 back for these clothes that I never took the tags off of, and I bought all new clothes that I can feel better in for right now. So, yep, Brent, I will be your accountability partner. You got my word on that, and that's my goal to lose another 75 pounds. Yep. Morgan, you had an outstanding year in 2025. You knocked it out of the park. You not only knocked it out of the park, you had the time of your life with some traveling and went on an adventure with your son that was unbelievable. Number one, how did you do it? And number two, what is your goal for 2026 after having such an unbelievable 2025?
Well, thank you, first off. Um, I think finding my why the last couple years has been a big goal of mine just because I've always like felt I had to do more, more, more. And last year when we do vision boards every year and when we did the vision board, my son, which we had actually I just reshared it for his 6th birthday, we had originally planned to go to Africa. And that was during COVID and it was canceled. And we just kept saying like someday we'll go, and they kept calling us and we kept putting it off, and I just didn't want to go until COVID was over and things were really fully back to normal. And this past year when we were doing our vision boards, Quillam brought up Africa and put it on our vision boards, and I made a promise to him that I couldn't guarantee that we would go back this past year, that I would put it on the calendar. And so I started planning and I gave the travel agent 3 dates. One this year, one would have been right now, like in January, and then one in the spring. And it just worked out that we ended up booking over Thanksgiving break. And we did it. And it was on my board and it kind of pushed me to just do it. And, he turned 11 yesterday, so he's not getting any younger. And I think that the last year, I just really realized that I don't care what it takes. I want to travel and I want to show the kids the world. And I made sure that that happened. So when I do my goals and do everything, it was based around that. And then this year, I don't want to do that again. So my summer last year was not very fun. I worked a lot and ran myself, like I just worked all the time. And I'm learning that I don't have to do all the clients. I don't have to take on everybody. Not everyone is going to, it's okay to say no to people and to refer them to other people. So that's a big goal for me this year, not to do what I did last year. And then spend more time because I am going to be in my garden this year and I'm going to travel a lot this year. So those are my two big goals.
Good, good. Congratulations again. Ken Diltz, if you can jump on here for a second.
Yes, sir.
Ken Diltz, Ken stepped out of his box and we met yesterday and he did a candid conversation video with me, which we'll publish hopefully in the next several days. You know, Ken, you came to me a couple months ago and said that you'd like to meet with me, you know, every so often, you know, maybe once a month also. What is your thought pattern for this year in 2026, and why have you made a few changes like that?
So I just want to continue to grow. As I said yesterday, I love what I do. Been doing it for a long, long time. Um, I'd like to get my golf handicap under 10 again. Because as I talked yesterday, that's where I get a lot of my business. I finally got my wife, Kathy, convinced that I should play golf. um, and I just enjoy, at 66, it's just enjoying life. Two grandsons are fantastic. So the goal is to spend more time with them, and just continue to talk to my past clients, bake cookies for people, and continue to grow.
Okay, good.
I appreciate being here.
Yep. Thank you, Ken. Appreciate you being here and all the support that you give the company. Chris Sullenberger, Chris Kelly, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Welcome. Good. Welcome to the call. Chris Kelly and I are going to do a candid conversation this afternoon. She's next up on the list, and I wasn't sure. Are we doing that with you and I, or are we doing that with your whole team?
The whole team.
Okay, good. So, Chris, you've got some lofty goals for 2026, and as you're building your team and building your business, what's one goal that you have personally to have a great 2026?
That's a good question. And I'll dive into that, but I'll share yesterday I had a realization that I had forgotten about. I usually always pick a word for the year, and over the years, I write them on a rock. I don't have the rocks in front of me because I'm not at the other office, but they usually lay on my desk. And it's really interesting to watch like the evolution of words and how that's played in my life. And I realized yesterday, oh my gosh, now I get a little emotional thinking about this and really thinking about the word. I decided to write the word intentional, really because of thinking of and I've said this for a long time, that when I came back into selling, I came back into selling because I knew this was the last chapter of my working career. So it was a really intentional decision to come back into selling because I no longer wanted to be in like an office for 40 hours a week, like sitting at a desk. And I really felt like I could reach more people with like a bigger vision by getting out into like going back into selling and having a team and developing something really awesome. So intentional is really that everything that I'm doing forward has intention because it's the chapter of life that I'm in. And so everything going into the business will be intentional. Everything we're doing this year, the way we treat our clients, processes, it's going to be with intention, like great intention. And if it's not making sense and it doesn't feel right, then it won't be part of the business. So kind of like what Morgan said a little bit about, like, it's going to be okay to say no. It's going to be okay to move in changes that in ways that may be unconventional. It may be okay to just totally duplicate and repeat, or, you know, do some things that are not that original. But it's all going to be with intention. So that's really the goal this year. That's the focus.
That's a great word, and that's I can't wait to be involved in it with you. So I can tell you that one of the things that you did last year with that pie party you had was an unbelievable setup, and congratulations on the success of that pie party giveaway that you did. And we'll talk about that in a later call this year, as we plan events on how you did that, why you chose the location that you chose, and why you did it. So congrats on that. Kong, you just took your family on really a trip of a lifetime too. Um, Tell us why you did that. I mean, you've been with me for what, 22, 23 years now,
Yeah.
and have come a long way. What made you decide to put that on the calendar in 2025 and do what you did for the last couple weeks? And what do you plan on doing in 2026? Tell us about the trip.
Yeah, well, this started last year actually when I went to the USC Penn State game, and I was only there for, my gosh, not even 48 hours for the game. But the time that I was there, I drove around with my fraternity brothers that went to the game with me, and uh, I love looking at the real estate out there, and I love investing in real estate. It's something your dad and you had instilled in me from the beginning. And I just drove around and I was just in awe by what's out there, and it's it's a lot. And Irma had 2 weeks off between Christmas and New Year's, so it was the perfect time for us to take our vacation and go, since we didn't take one this year or last year. And we went to San Diego and stayed in a very nice house just on, on the border of Beverly Hills. And just to get that experience and then let the kids see it too, and telling them to dream big, because they can achieve anything. They can buy a $30 million house if they put their mind to it. Um, so that was the big thing with that trip, was to just get them to look that there's a lot out there for them. Um, and for this year, going back to Central PA, I want to buy more properties and invest in more, Tim. So that's my big goal for this year, is to buy maybe not just one, but two properties this year.
Good, good. So that's going to take me to Alyssa and Brenna. If you guys can unmute yourself. First of all, congratulations to both of you. Now, we had a little conversation last night with you two. How old are both of you? Because now I found out you're both the same age. How old are you both?
We're both 25.
25 years old. And Brenna, you bought your first home last year, right?
Yep.
Congratulations on that. You're now a homeowner at 25. And Alyssa, how many rental units do you now own at 25?
We have 3 different properties and 7 doors total.
3 different properties and 7 doors at 25. Can you imagine what her future is going to look like at 45? What's your goal for this coming year as far as you and JJ buying property?
Our goal is to at least buy at least one property, hopefully 2 more rental properties this next year.
So 1 to 2 more rental properties this year, which will take you up to 9 doors.
Mhm.
If you are, or more if they happen to be multiple units, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Congratulations on that at 25. And what did we talk about last night? What you guys need to do to generate more business?
Make calls and focus on our sphere of influence, and just even if it's just 5 calls a day, just reach out to friends and family and past clients and just check in and just remind them that we're here to help them with any of their real estate needs or any of their friends.
And what was the excuse that you gave me about some of your friends not purchasing?
That they're not ready to buy homes.
And why was that?
Just the age with us only being 25, but I know a lot of my friends, I do talk to my friends about in the future buying homes and but we can definitely try to sit down with them and make a plan of how they could buy a home in the next year or two.
So part of that excuse last night was that the fact that they didn't have the money saved, right?
Hmm.
And what did we talk about? We're not necessarily looking for them to refer you the business or to them to buy, but you need to look at them to refer you to somebody to buy. So even though they don't have the money right now, we still need to reach out to them on a regular basis. And that would be the goal for both of you girls, is to create that center of influence database, to reach out to those people on a regular basis. And even if they don't have the money to buy right now, maybe they'll know somebody that has the ability to buy and they'll refer you. So both of you, I just wanted to say congratulations, because I know 2025, with Brenna becoming a homeowner and Alyssa and JJ, not only did you get married, but you bought that investment property with a creative deal, which was beautiful. It was beautiful that you thought of it, you asked, and the guy said yes, and you got yourself a house that I wanted, but you got it. So congratulations on doing that, because Brent, who's sitting there, him and I talked about that. And to be quite honest, we didn't have the guts to ask, did we, Brent? But she did, and she got it. So fantastic. I'm so happy for you guys. Yep.
Thank you, Tim.
Yep. Joe Schutz, if you could unmute yourself. What's one goal, whether it's business or personal, that you would have going into 2026 that you'd like to achieve?
Um, well, I also have can you hear me? Sorry.
Yep.
Okay. I also have a fitness goal, and I'm working towards that. My goal is to be able to run a 5K under 35 minutes by the end of the year, which I have not done in 10 years with these old knees, but that's my goal. And so there's various things involved with that, weight loss and fitness and things of that nature. So um, that's my dog's barking. Apologies. But that's we're not getting any younger, so it's like a now or never kind of situation. But I also have goals, a number in mind with that I've set up with my coach. I'm also looking to just um, be more. Uh, I mean, for those of you who are familiar with Buffini, there's the 5 circles, and um, one of the circles is spirituality, and I'm looking to just calm my head and find some peace in my mind about just doing things that are more community oriented to help the greater good, um, along with helping myself and my family. And that's part of my goal for the year, is to become more community oriented and not necessarily become community oriented to drive business. If that happens, that's fine. But it's for me, it's something I want to do to uh, for the greater good of humanity. So that's one of the things I'm focusing on.
Good. Congratulations. I wish you the best of luck. Anything I can do to talk it out with you ever, please feel free to come up.
Thank you.
Bill Anderson, if you welcome to the call, unmute yourself if you could. You know, in my office, I have a sign and it says, dream big, just like Kong talked about with his kids. You and Sherry bought me that sign years ago. And you guys had some dreams and visions and goals in life, and you accomplished them. You had a goal to move to Florida to enjoy your life. How did you to decide to do that, and how many years did it take you to implement it, and was it worth it?
Well, we had bought a property 5 years ago in Florida and rented, that's a rental for us. And of course, we would visit that every couple months just to make sure everything was okay. So the more and more that we had visited Florida, we realized that the people that live here really want to be here. And everybody's very active. Of course, the weather, I'm in shorts and a t-shirt today. You guys are in jeans and sweaters. Makes a big difference in your attitude, number one. And we decided that, the kids were gone. One lives in Key West, one lives in Michigan. So we knew they weren't coming home, and there was no use, sitting around in Pennsylvania and, through the weather and nothing to do. And, pretty much unless you're out there skiing. If you got, like Joe said, if your knees are a little sore from life, you can't do those things. But down here, it was just something that we both agreed on. We both liked. We decided to put the house up for sale. Before we put that house up for sale, of course, it took probably 6, 7 months to get it ready, just because we had accumulated so many things, four-wheelers and lawnmowers and, just all the things that you have when you have kids. And we had multiple four-wheelers, and it was just, there was too much stuff. We had a pole barn full of stuff, cars and things like that. So, that took about 6 months. We donated a lot of that. We dumped a lot of it in dumpsters that came to the house, got rid of them. And one day put the house up for sale. 6 hours later, it was sold. So at that point, it was, let's get it ready. And we were able to settle and then stay a couple weeks. It was sort of fun. I mean, we loaded up a U-Haul, drove things down. I mean, it was actually hilarious, us driving this big 25-foot U-Haul the whole way from PA to Florida. We had a good time. But Sherry's still working in real estate down here. She's doing well. I ride bike every morning on the fitness end, probably about 7.5 miles in the neighborhood that we're in, and don't repeat any streets. So it's a pretty big neighborhood. We're able to walk the beach. We're leaving Wednesday for Key West, coming back Saturday. And I mean, our trips this year, we're doing our Alaska for 2 weeks, a land and sea type deal. We're looking forward to that. And then the following year, we're probably going to do a couple of weeks in Europe, because my niece is getting married over there. So her mom and dad got married in Scotland, so she wants to get married in Scotland. So we're all going over there for a couple of weeks. But yeah, and I mean, we saw Alyssa at a wedding last year in Costa Rica with my other nephew. So yeah, it's fun. Kids are still unmarried, so no drama there. But yeah, so we're just enjoying life. It's just, you just put your mind to it and do it.
Congratulations.
We didn't have these
vision
visions
together.
these young kids have. We weren't exposed to this. We were not exposed to real estate. We just thought you had a house. We didn't know. I mean, these young kids are lucky that they, you got Brooksy, and you got to listen, and everybody there that's just, there. If it's in front of you, you're going to learn from it.
Yeah. Yeah, as young individuals like them accumulating homes and what is going to increase their wealth. And at some point in time, they're going to be able to do what the Andersons did, which is pack up and move and live your best life for the rest of your life. So,
Yeah, we're in God's waiting room now, so we're just down here waiting.
yep. Congratulations, Bill. We miss you though. Yep.
We miss you guys.
Yeah. Let's go to Mr. Hubler. Mr. Hubler, you have a great year after year, and your team with you and Matt have done a fantastic job. What's on the board for 2026 for Bob Hubler and his team?
Well, Matt and we attempted to do what Joe and Tom did with the pie giveaway. And we figured out that those guys have a plan and we want to be like Joe and Tom next year for the pie giveaway. And watching what they did was phenomenal. And we want to be better. We want to go out and touch our clients more to bring in some business there. I am humbled to say I'm so happy to have Matt, and I think we can kick it again this year. What do you think?
Let's go.
And your wife is with you on part of your team too. She gives you a lot of support. It's always good to have that support at home and at work.
Always.
Yeah. So, and what's your next educational trip, Mr. Hubler?
Our next educational trip is we're getting ready to go out to Las Vegas for the Remax R4. We're already setting up networking while we're out there with other Remax agents. So that's another thing that we want to increase is the networking to bring in more referrals. So we got a couple last year, so we'd like to get a few more. And so I'm actually going out to a back-to-back. So when I'm in Las Vegas, then I'm going to go down to Palm Springs a couple days after R4 and be down there for a couple days. It just like they're piling up. I have a list of checking out airplane tickets for this year for the different dates, and because airfare is ridiculous. But now since the stuff going on with Venezuela, we hear that the oil prices or energy prices should be coming down. So it'd be nice if it equates out that the airlines agree with them and lower their airfare rates. So
Well, let's hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Diane Leslie, you've got 2026 on the future. You've been doing some creative social media posts, which I think are really cool. What's on the horizon for you and Craig here in 2026 with marketing and touching base with your clients? We can't hear you yet. Nope, we can't hear you. No. Maybe she could try to call in like Brent did on a
Yeah,
cell
it
phone,
looks
and we'll
like
get
she's
back to her.
unmuted. I don't know if there's an
Yeah.
issue with the microphone or what.
Let's go to Mr. Chelednik while Diane tries to call in. Tom, what's your what's something like 2025 that you were happy with, personal or business wise, and what do you look forward to in 2026? You got on mute, Tom. There we go.
2025, I always hate spending money for baseball game at the Senators picnic because it gets more and more expensive to do. And I missed it the last 2 years and I did it again this year. And even though it was miserably hot, it was great to get in front of my folks again. Still had a great turnout on that day. So I was happy about that. And I want to start, instead of maybe doing it more often, getting back to every other year rather than every 3 years doing it, because people always ask, "Hey, we thought we were off your list. Did you miss us?" I said, "No, I just haven't done it." Uh, Going forward, 2026, it's more of a personal thing. I always want to grow your business, but getting to that age in my life where you drive down the road, you think, "Hey, I need to call. I haven't talked to my friend or someone in a while." So I'll get to it. Next thing you know, you find out they died. They passed away, and you wish you would have done that. So when those situations come up, I don't want to push them off, or if a friend wants to say, "Hey, let's go get some wings or watch a game," and I hate these 8 o'clock football games because they're not done till 12 at night. But if they want to do that, or I reach out to them to, "Hey, let's get together at least for an hour." I want to try to put that more at the forefront because life is too short and you just never know. And when this person, when you don't get to see them ever again or talk to them, you miss them. So
Yeah.
that's what I want to do.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And it's funny you brought that up because just before this call, like 10 minutes before this call, my brother-in-law, who asked to come over and see some of the playoff games the other night, and they were going to be at 8 o'clock at night. And I said, "No, I'm sorry, I'm going to go to bed." And I said no to him. He just asked again about this weekend coming up with, some of the playoff games that are coming. He said, "I'd really like to come watch some of them with you." And I said yes. So I'm going to do the same thing that you just said. Instead of saying no all the time, I'm going to say yes. So hopefully I can do more of what you're talking about. Yeah. Brooksy, let's um, talk about what's on the horizon for you and Kathy and your plan, and then let's send it off to kick off the new year.
Yeah, for me, it's just another year of dedication to kind of self-improvement. I'm always, trying to do that for myself and grow as a person, grow my business, grow in my daily life, and kind of pass that trait along to my kids in the process as well. But a lot of it is efficiency and schedule, um, daily habits, that sort of thing that allows me to do more. Um, and I put a big emphasis on trying to learn something every day. And as a part of that for 2026, not only was it kind of to get involved with GHAR. This is something I've never done before. I'm trying to give back, but also learn in the process. And then additionally, I have a goal. I'm under contract to buy a lot here at the end of the month, and I'm going to personally build a house on it from the ground up. So I've never done anything like that before, and I'm sure there's going to be maybe a few bumps and bruises along the way, but it'll be a good learning experience and kind of help set me up for, doing that later on in life and continuing the process and growing. So looking forward to that. But Mom, I don't know if you want to add anything on your end. No.
And that house will
So
give you another investment property in your portfolio, and that you're even maybe looking at adding a pole barn to it for additional rental income because the lot's big enough to accommodate it.
yep. Yeah,
Yep.
working on numbers and just figuring out what the best course of action is and the best return on the money that you spend and have into the deal. So, once I get the plans all drawn up and start getting numbers coming back, it'll be easier to work those scenarios and figure out what the best option is.
Yeah. Kathy, we brought you up a little bit in this thing. You're a retired school teacher. You're still swim coaching. You help take care of mom. What is your passion to want to be in this business and come in here every day?
I just really enjoy the work. I enjoy meeting people, the relationships, working with obviously Brooks and you, family first. I started that goal back in 2023, right before Dad got sick, of a big family vacation every year. And I want to continue that. So just making memories that way versus the little gifts in the end. I think it's time and being present with people, whether it's your family, your clients, your relationships that you build. I think being present is important. And that's my goal, to continue that. I don't think I'll ever stop working. Maybe slow down a little bit, but more like dad, where, I mean, that's what drives you.
Yeah. Well, good. Thank you.
So,
Hannah, Luis, Bastros, anybody want to add anything? Hannah, you've done a great job in 2025. Hopefully, you're looking forward to knocking it out of the park in 2026. What's the goal you have?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Yeah, I'm hoping to do better. We did some coaching and you taught me a lot, so I want to continue doing the 10 phone calls a day. One thing that I did that was very tedious, but I hand wrote 576 cards for New Year's and Christmas to my mom's past clients. So calls are starting to roll in. I'm just trying to put some systems in place. So kind of like what Brooke said, just try to make a routine. So the first thing I do in the morning is I hit the gym. I'm at Crunch at 5 a.m. if anyone else goes there. And then the first thing that I do is I put on my dress code. So I'm doing white button downs all year. I used to do that whenever I was working for Bill Gladstone, and my mom was like, "Why don't you do that?" And actually, it's made quite a difference. I thought that that would be a little bit too formal for residential, but it's actually been great. I feel like people are kind of taking me a little bit more serious, and I'm just doing those 10 contacts a day and hoping that everything else falls into place. So I hope that 2026 is a good year. I did a vision board. How Morgan said, I actually did do that. And yeah, so it's in front of me first thing when I wake up in the morning. I see that. I see the cars that I want, the house that I want, the different trips that I want to go on. And yeah, so that's me. 2025 was definitely a year of learning. It was my first time kind of being on my own. Um, and mistakes were made, but also everything I learned the hard way, and I guess that's just my style.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
Well,
that's
congratulations. We look forward to having a great 2026 with you.
thank you, you too, and
Yeah.
congrats on your fitness.
Oh,
You look great.
thank you. Yep,
Chris.
thanks. Kelly Schellenberger, could you just quick unmute a second?
Absolutely.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little under the weather today, so if you hear
Oh
my
boy.
voice.
Yep. You have some goals this year. I know you want to buy investment properties and you're constantly looking for that. Tell us what one of your goals is for
I do.
2000.
I definitely think an investment property is one of the top of my priorities. I bought my house about coming up on 4 years ago. I was 22, turning 23, and had just kind of made the jump into real estate. So it was a little bit of a risk there and had to take some time to learn about home ownership and the finances that come with it and recoup some money. But I've been super blessed in, my business the past 2 years to really set me ahead. And I'm looking forward to, figuring out how to put that money into that asset this year, learning about the cash flow and the ups and downs that come with it as well. And then on top of that, just every year one of the sayings I always have is 1% better every single day. And that's something that, I think about the turning of the new year. And it's not for me about new goals, it's about retaining my goals and the consistency through it. And so taking that with me of 1% better in my business, in my health and fitness, what does that look like for me in my relationships with others as well? So I think it's always a nice reminder as a new year comes around. And it's that, reset with everybody else around you as well, that everybody is striving for something. And it's really cool to see other people do that as well alongside you.
Good. Congratulations, and we hope we can help you achieve those goals of the investment property here in 2026. I hope you feel better. And if you do, I'll see you later on today.
Thank you.
Yep. Diane, Leslie, were you able to call in or get us? No, we still can't hear you. we're going to make sure we get you on next week when we can hear you. How about you, Paula? Can you unmute yourself? There
There.
you go. Hi,
Yeah.
Paula.
Hi.
How about you with the cards this year? Did you do a good job last year with writing your handwritten cards? And what's your goal this year for doing that?
Incredible. It was constant. My hand is
Okay.
almost broken. But we've been reaching out to all of the communities that we were involved with, and it is starting to pay off. We are starting to get business from that.
Poppy and I always said you guys have a gold mine in the
That's right.
developments that you sold, or all you have to do now is mine them.
That's right.
And if your development does that garage sale like they used to do, that was one of the biggest events, and
Mm-hmm.
and you can plan a huge event for that with a hot dog thing, or to
Yeah.
try to get somebody to stop by, eat a hot dog, and have some conversation with you,
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
type of thing. But we wish you the best. If there's anything we can do to help in 2026, let us know.
I sure will.
All right. Okay, Luis, how about you? I think we pretty much got almost everybody. Are you able to unmute, Luis?
Yes, good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year.
Yep, I met with you and a friend of yours a month or so ago, and you have some visions of investing this coming year, and hopefully we can assist you with that. Is that still on the horizon?
Yes, that's still on the horizon, Tim. Thank you so much. First of all, I want to say that 2025 was a great year. God was great. He was, with me with the deals every step of the way. The support that I received from the office, from the Carrie Schaefer Group, was amazing. And after having such a great end of year celebration, I realized that um, me personally, I just need to work on my faith. That is my priority. Because I mean, God already knows every single one of us, but I just want to be closer to Him, make sure He guides me in every single thing I do. I had a very close friend that died right before Christmas from Delaware. Healthy man. Went to the doctors with a blood clot. He said he felt bad on a Thursday, and Friday came back that day with medicine. Friday felt bad and had a massive heart attack, and left us. So I just realized in Tim that I have all these plans in mind. I have all these goals in mind, but at the snap of God's finger, I mean, a lot of things could change. So I just want to be right with Him, be right with the people around me, get excited for what He has for me. And yes, I'm looking forward for 2026 to be an amazing year, and I'm just thankful for it.
Good. Thank you, Luis.
You're welcome.
Yep. Okay, guys, let's do it right. Let's kick off the new year right. And as I've been saying in my emails, you know what to do. Let's go to work.